All right, YouTube. I want to go over washing a transport fuel hauler. Um, so I don't see very many videos of how to wash these on YouTube. So here we go. So we always apply chemicals from the bottom up, and starting with the wheels, tires. A pretty important piece that you need to learn how to do is how to flip that gun over and get the underside of the top of the wheel, because if you don't, there will be a black mark. As the truck rolls, you'll see the dark spot. So we always flip that gun all the way upside down. It's hard to get used to in the very beginning, but you will gain some muscle memory and be able to do that. So as you can see here, we are going all the way to the very top, and this is with an acid-based product. We hitting all the aluminum all the way up. Now I use a helper. We don't use remote systems, and we don't use extra hose on our guns. We try to keep everything light so we can work faster. Like this transport here, we're going to do it in about 15 minutes for the whole thing. So I yell to my helper to switch our chems to soap, and we park our trucks at the rear of the trailer because that's where we start. So if you are by yourself, I would recommend you park in the very front of the truck and start at the rear and work your way towards your truck so you can switch chemicals for yourself and you're not making a bunch of extra steps. But I highly recommend that you use a helper. So at this point, we're downstreaming a degreaser neutralizer all the way to the top. This reacts with the acid that we use, so it starts to clean. We use a real high pH product and a real low pH, so when these two touch each other, there's a chemical reaction that happens. It breaks down the magnetic field in the dirt. And then we use a trombone tip. You can get them on EnviroSpecs. And so now we're at high pressure, and we go all the way to the top first and run all the way down the truck. This helps because if you start in sections, the chemical likes to keep coming off the top. So we always really emphasize getting the top of the truck first, and then the midsection is pretty easy. You put a lot of volume of water at the top, so it's pretty easy to rinse off as it runs down. And mixing your chemicals, we run hotter than probably most in the industry because we don't, again, everything we do is efficiency. We don't run hot water, so we use a hotter chemical and it kind of makes up for that not using hot water. I've been in this industry for over a decade, and we continuously do over 7 figures a year, and we have found that messing around with hot water or things that could potentially break out in the field, we've just went away from all that. So we're kind of a little more on the old school side. We like everything light. We don't want to mess around with any extra couplers, any extra weight. I would rather pay a helper, like you can see in the video here. His job is to make sure that hose never catches on a tire. And in the video, these rims really don't need acid out of the hand pumper, but for demonstration purposes, we did it. His job is to acid everything that needs it. If there's any streaks in the wheels, if there's anything that two-stepping didn't get off of there, we go back and we hit it with a hand pumper. And we do the same. We have a soap hand pumper for bugs in the fronts of the trucks, and if the tire doesn't want to come clean, we can put a higher concentrated soap on the tires and they come right clean. So as you can see here, I'm just rinsing off all the acid that he came back and put on the wheels. So now that they're shiny, so yeah, we do these trucks in about 15 minutes on a maintenance plan. We don't allow them to get very dirty. We give customers a deal for, say, every other week service or every week service. So we're not coming in and having to do a complete setup on these trucks. We do them quite frequently. I think in the wintertime, this customer goes to every week, and in the summer, it's every other week. So we don't have to, spend a bunch of time getting these clean. They're usually pretty clean as we come in. But yeah, this is how we two-step a fuel transport.